Welcome back. The attitude towards our emotions is the attitude towards our inner life. And the attitude towards life is the attitude towards outer life. With that I mean our attitude towards life circumstances. And it helps you in the following way, that when you see that nothing on the outside is that big of a deal, that you kind of disidentify with what is on the outside, actually those things pass through and you become transparent in the same way as you become transparent for your emotions, so that you can drop into this deeper state of fulfillment. When we realize that life basically is just a game, a play of energy, so are we, because we are life. In the same way as a fruit comes out of a tree, we come out of this earth, we come out of this life, we are an expression of this life, of this entire organism which is called Earth. Without the Earth, we wouldn't be here. So whenever we leave the planet, we need to take like a canned version of the Earth with us in order to survive. So we are a part of this Earth, and I give credit for this insight to the teacher Alan Watts, which has explained this beautifully, so I borrowed his words and his examples in this way. So we are that, we are a play of energy and a game basically, the life is playing. When you see like plants and animals behaving, yes, there is some hardship, but basically it's revolving energy, it's like in and out like the waves. There is like no purpose, it's just doing, it's nothing serious. Everything that is problematic, so to speak, like hardship, is dealt with in the moment, and it's not made a problem where we kind of abide in that. And actually when nothing is happening, when you just go to work, you kind of put down and it's like all heavy. That's not what life is. Life basically is a game. Yes, there is hardship, I don't deny that, and for many people this is the true reality of their lives, and this is very unfortunate. But the reason is like what I want to say is, in order to also change that, we got to change ourselves first. We got to start here and be happy and make the impact in the countries where there's actually a lot of wealth, so we can work on redistribution of this wealth to aid those people and help those people there. So it's your purpose right now to not come up with an example why life is so hard for so many people, but to really focus on yourself, because life for you can really be a game, and it's good to acknowledge that and to see that and to really feel that and live from that place. So you're truly happy and can make an impact on those people, but first thought out yourself. So with that being said, also to see like nothing is serious after all, just our thinking makes it so. For some people they struggle with something, and other people think that this is kind of not that big of a deal. It's just our thinking, you see. The problems are life circumstances made personal. You see, we need to make this disconnection. There's a problem and there is a life circumstance. A life circumstance is something that happens. A problem is something that is evaluated to be so. Evaluated to be problematic, because the life circumstance can be handled. But when we think that gets us something that we don't want, or it gets us away from something that we do want, like it gets us away from something that we want, or it gets us towards something that we don't want, and we kind of lose on a personal identity level, it means something about who I am, then the life circumstance is made personal. So no persona, no problem. It sounds cheesy, but this is the way it is. Once we let go of our personality, of our persona, so to speak, of like our self-image of who we are and who we shall be and who we must not be, once we let go of that and we become a little bit more transparent, our life becomes like less serious. And this is a great outlook to life to really help you drop into this deeper sentiment of fulfillment when you don't cling, when you're kind of not pulled out so often anymore. You see, the reason why we are pulled out of our default state is because there is something that demands our attention and has survival value for us. For example, a thought or a feeling. And when we've never inquired about those thoughts and feelings, we believe like everything is so meaningful for us, because survival value to the body, there are actually very limited things that have the survival value and threat to the body. Somebody chasing you with a knife, this is like real bodily stress. But the survival threat of our mental identity, who we must not be and shall be, and people we need to please and people we don't like, all that's related to kind of keeping up the self-image. They are like billions of triggers that we are like, many triggers throughout the day that we are encountering. So basically all of that has survival threat of us, and this is because we never abide in this default state, because we're always pulled out, because we believe like everything is relevant to me, which is actually not. There are actually very few things. So no persona, no problem. You see, every life circumstance that's made personal is called a problem. Without the evaluation of personal, meaningfulness for you, the problem doesn't arise. It's just a life circumstance that can be handled. So, and we're all going to die at the end. You see, by inquiring about that whatever you do right now, it's so easy to kind of lose track about of why you're doing that and what for. How would you feel when you're there? Because, we will all be dead. We will all be dead at the end. And to see this right now is crucially important to kind of rethink the way you live right now and right here. So seeing that you will die will kind of, make you rethink, how you do those things. And, after all, remember that a situation where it was hell, where you were in that situation, but afterwards you saw it was not that big of a deal. Now I understand the sentence. Remember a situation where you really were in hell and you really felt like deep, deep suffering, but after you came out of this situation, you realize it wasn't all that big of a deal. So in this way, you kind of learn from what you've learned in the past and apply it in the present when you face kind of a problem. Because afterwards, we always say it wasn't that big of a deal. When we were on this challenge, maybe you remember when you were kind of 8, 9 years old and you jumped from that, jumping platform, whatever that's called in English, into that swimming pool. You see, you were shaken the first time you talked to a girl or something like that, but afterwards you realized it wasn't all that big of a deal. And to see that, that many problems are actually just that big of a deal because we've not faced what we need to face already, and every feeling can be handled. It's just our fear of we are not able to handle this feeling that prevents us from actually doing that. So in seeing that, the whole outlook on life can change, and once we've really faced our things that we personally in our personal path need to face, excuse me please, life will transform, you see. So to recapture this video, our attitude towards life really helps us in dropping deeper into the state of fulfillment, because when we see that everything on the outside is actually not all that big of a deal and it's not so meaningful to me, and I will be dead anyway, so there's actually nothing to left but to play and be a kind person to others. What else would you do if there was nothing to lose? If this would be the last day of your life, you would just be play and be kind to people, or you would be deeply depressed. But at the end you realize, being depressed, where's the point? Why not have a good time? Because you're dead soon anyway, you see. So this outlook on life can really change the way you feel about yourself and you feel about the things that happen, and really aid you to kind of wake up and to rest. Being fulfilled requires inner restfulness, so that you're immune, so to speak, to things pulling you out of this state, resting within. And this is what I hope this video could provide some pointers for. Yes, see you in the next video.